This was the boy's last sip of water at sea. Looking at the dying tiger in front of him, his kind heart gave what little water remained to the animal. Then he gently placed the tiger's head on his lap and calmly waited for death to come. They'd been adrift at sea for half a year. Luckily, when the boy woke up again, the boat had stopped at a floating island. He scrambled off the boat and dug up a green root, shoving it straight into his mouth. Then he headed toward the center of the island. To his surprise, the place was teeming with meerkats. Sensing his arrival, they all lifted their heads and stared at him curiously. The meerkats didn't attack. Without hesitation, the boy jumped into a pool and happily gulped down the water. Nearby, the tiger was enjoying its own meal. Strangely, the meerkats didn't run away. They just watched the tiger with curiosity. When night fell, all the meerkats scattered into the forest, and even the tiger retreated to the boat. The boy suddenly woke up in the middle of the night. When he crawled over for a closer look, he saw all sorts of debris floating in the pool. The water had turned into highly corrosive acid. The tiger sat quietly on the boat, too smart to go near the glowing island. The boy casually picked a flower, and when he pulled apart the petals, he found a human tooth inside. He immediately realized the danger. The next morning, the boy loaded green plants and meerkats onto the boat and called for the tiger. The clever animal climbed back aboard, and they set off drifting again. The hungry tiger jumped into the sea to hunt for food, but it wasn't much of a swimmer. The boy thought the tiger was kind of clumsy, until it turned around and started swimming straight toward him. His smile vanished instantly. He hurried back onto the boat. The tiger tried to climb in too, but the slippery hull made it impossible to get a grip. Suddenly, the boy found an axe. This was the perfect chance to get rid of the tiger. He shouted at it to pump himself up, but when he looked into the tiger's eyes, he just couldn't do it. Hearing the tiger's whimpers, the boy hesitated until sunset before finally pushing the raft out to sea. Then he tossed down a small ladder, quickly jumped onto the raft, and the tiger climbed up after him. The next morning, the boys sorted through their food while checking what supplies were left. A huge fish had fallen into his trap. He quickly tightened the net, grabbed the axe nearby, and brought it down hard. Watching the fish gradually lose its color, the boy finally broke down crying. It was the first time he'd ever taken a life. Afterward, he fed the fish to the tiger. They lived like this for another 2 months. The raft crossed nearly the entire Pacific Ocean and finally reached shore. The boy collapsed on the ground, completely exhausted. The tiger jumped off the boat and walked into the forest without looking back. Hours later, villagers found the boy, and he couldn't stop crying. He never imagined that after saving the tiger's life, it would just walk away without a backward glance. Perhaps the tiger's coldness was the boy's deepest